Did I do that right? Hello? Are people here? Hi, Nicholas. Hi, Aman. How are you?
Hey Joyce, doing well.
Hello, yeah. I
Oh,
see it live on other places too, so I think we're
okay,
good.
good. Abed, today we're not having an insomnia show. We're doing a Postman show. Welcome to the Postman live stream. Hello, Neil Studd is with us. So Neil Studd is somebody that stops in our live streams quite regularly and just started working at Postman. Oh good, Arlemi's here too. Arlemi. Okay, so welcome to the Postman live stream. I'm glad everyone had a chance to join us. My name is Joyce. I am with Developer Relations at Postman. So welcome to our live stream. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Yeah, for sure. My name's Aman, and I am on the partner engineering team at Notion, working on our API and platform team and helping build sample integrations and helping third parties build integration on top of Notion. So thank you for having me here, Joyce.
Yeah, that's really cool to be here. I'm Nicholas. I'm a developer advocate at Typeform, and my role is to make people happy whenever they integrate with Typeform APIs. And I'm very glad to be here so we can hack Postman, Notion, and Typeform together.
Yeah, so Nico, you were one of our very first guests on the Postman live stream when we launched last year. And I think we were working with the Video Ask API, but today we're going to be working with the Typeform API. And Aman, I know Notion didn't have an API for the longest time, and you guys just launched your public beta, and holy cow, people were hungry for Notion's API. So amazing. Hello. Hi, John's work alias. Lots of people chiming in from all over the world. Yes, Nico is the OG. Okay, so before we get started with our coding project, and by coding project, I believe, Aman, you're going to be doing all the work while me and Nico backseat drive a little bit. Okay, let's get started with a segment I like to call In Case You Missed It. One quick update. I'll go ahead and share my screen. Oops, I just stopped sharing my screen. I did it wrong. 1 second. Okay, so let me bring my screen on, and that is way too small. Hold on. I did it wrong again. Oh gosh, this is awful. What is going on? I'm so confused. There's too many buttons. Okay, I'm gonna try one more time. Ah, it comes all the way at the bottom. Okay. Arlemi, are you here? Arlemi's giving me cruft for this. Okay.
Woohoo!
At long last. Is that very, very small? Can you see? I want to keep
it
here
because
tiny. I want to keep the... Okay. I'm going to take the chat off for just 1 second so you can see this really cool thing. I wanted to surprise Aman and Nico with this. So don't worry, we're keeping an eye on the chat. We'll be able to see you. So I'm here in Postman. This should look familiar. But if I'm going to be making a call with Aman, what is your base URL for your API?
I believe it is Notion, api.notion.com. Let me double check.
Notion. So I'm going to open up the context bar from the right. This lightning bulb is light bulb. Light bulb is new. And if I start typing in api.notion, I can see, Postman's like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for this collection? And you can already see Notion just launched recently, and you guys have so many forks. It's very, very nice. So if I'm maybe I want to build with Twitter or something, I think there's this api.twitter. So here is Twitter's collection. but there's a couple other collections that people have created using Twitter API. So hopefully today we build an amazing collection with Notion's API, and then it'll show up beneath your other collection there. So that is new.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, this little related collections, it's still in beta, but check it out. I'm going to stop sharing, maybe. Oh God, this is so terrible. Okay, so there, let's bring the chat back on. Okay, hello chat, you should be back on, so feel free to chime in. Let's see if I missed anything. Now with mind reading included from Arlemy.
So everybody can have access to this feature, or do I have to download the latest version, be part of the beta?
So if you're using Postman in the web, you should see it now. And then for the Postman app, I am actually not sure if it's out in this release. If not this release, it'll be out in the next release. I almost exclusively use Postman in the web, but Aman, you're going to be using the Electron app, correct?
That's what I've been using, yes. So I was going to use that for this as well.
Rookie. Okay, so what are we doing today? Typeform has an API, Notion has an API. What's happening?
Yeah, Nico, you want to start with the Typeform part of stuff, what we're building on Typeform?
Yeah, so I believe we're building something where you want to read more and you want to get recommendations, right, from people?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And so we're going to crowdsource all this recommendation by making a Typeform where people can suggest books you should read by giving you the title, giving you the author, maybe the type of books. So you know if it's like something where you're going to learn something or if it's more a novel. And eventually leave their personal comments, I'll say as well, like why they recommend this to you. And that would be fun on the Typeform by itself. But I think a lot of people are using Notion nowadays to manage many parts of their lives.
Like for work, but also for personal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so ideally, if this goes into a Notion database where you see all the different recommendations, and then you can track which one you have read, which one, like what is the next one you want to read, these type of things.
Yeah, so this was actually, I think I might have suggested the book recommendations because I started reading more recently. Yes, guys, I read now. But I also watch YouTube videos, don't get me wrong, and a YouTuber that I follow used a Notion, not a database, but just like Notion for their personal bullet journaling. And so I wanted to keep a list of books that I wanted to one day eventually read. But then I constantly ask in this live stream, does anybody have book recommendations? So then I was like, okay, let's just build something to service me, help me. And
so
then
this is all for Joyce.
It's all for me. Yeah, no lies about that. But Aman, you said that Notion can be used as a database or like a temporary or a permanent data store, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as part of Notion's API, we added the ability for developers to interact with Notion's database feature. And that's a really powerful feature Notion has. It lets you create what looks like a table, but is really a database in the back end. And you can treat it as a database. And with the API, we can now connect and bring data right into a Notion database. So once we get book recommendations in from a Typeform, we can have those stream into this data store. And with Notion, once it's there, we can customize it. We can make it look how we want to look. We can change colors and keep track of our data, our books.
Yeah, so John's work alias is here and asking me how's that book, because John's work alias recommended this cool book about surveillance, and I ordered a stack of books based on people's recommendations. But today it sounds like we'll launch a Typeform survey that allows the live stream people to suggest books, and then we'll kind of like stuff it into a Notion database, and then we'll be able to customize it. I would like emojis to kind of maybe
Life
by
is
type
better
of
with
book.
emojis. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and something cool is we can make that Notion page public at the end of this, and we can share that page with everyone here. So
but I don't have to, right?
You don't have to, no.
Okay.
But we can keep track of your book reading that way. Make sure you're reading those books.
I'm a
And you can
reader.
take notes. I guess after you've read them, you can see your progress you've made and how many books you've read so far on that list.
Yeah, so the YouTuber I was following created a reading list as well as book reports, so that and I think they're public, so you can see like what I think about this surveillance book or whatever. Okay, and we have a compliment from Ishmael. Nico has the best frames in the game.
Enough. It's already hot enough. Don't make me blush. I'm already red here.
Nicholas, would you like to drop an affiliate link to the where you got those glasses? Just jokes, just jokes. Okay, and Shiva's saying yes, use case does sound interesting. I'm excited. This helps me, and it gets the people involved because I get to see what types of books everyone out there recommends. Okay, so Aman, are you do you want to take Solitaire off your screen and then I'll go ahead and share your
Yes.
screen?
All right, sounds good.
Are you ready? Am I ready? Because I'm gonna mess this up. Are you ready?
I'm probably going to share the wrong screen at first, but yes, I am ready to share my screen.
Okay, I'm gonna bring your screen on.
Cool.
And then unfortunately, it's still a little small, so I'm gonna take the chat off. But don't worry, if you have questions, I'll be checking the chat, and I'll bring your chat on screen if you're asking a question. So let's take that off, make it a little bit bigger.
All right, yeah. So I'm currently looking at Typeform's developer page, but yeah, I'd love to. I guess I first have to create this form. Is that right, Nico?
Yeah, let's create it first. Yeah. So if you go into your Typeform account, you should be able to create it.
All right,
and so for people that are not familiar with Typeform, we are a survey tool. Basically, anytime you need to ask something to your customers, your users, we're the perfect tool for this, and we try to make this a really interactive, one question at a time.
Yeah, so for people that are following along at home, I believe all of these accounts, I created accounts. You can follow along real time. Like there won't be any kind of delay with getting your developer account.
No, yeah. It's direct. It works directly. So I guess we can just create a Typeform right here.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. I think you added me to a workspace. Is that right, Nico?
Yeah. So if you go on your top right, you should be switch organization, and you should see my organization.
Oh, okay, cool. So this is the new workspace just for today, right?
Yes. And so that helps also for collaboration if you want more people to work on the same form. We're all in this.
I can see all of you here. Awesome. So let's go ahead and create a new Typeform.
There are plenty of templates, but I don't think there is any about book recommendation. So it's probably.
Can I create a template and then have it be public, Nicholas?
Eventually, soon. No, right now it's not possible. But we have a lot of people that ask for this, and I think we might be inspired by what people do with collections on Postman. So have a central repo. But yeah, in this case, I think it's probably best to start from scratch, and then this we can design, we can think about the different questions we want to ask people.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call this
Joyce's book. I'm kidding.
Just for Joyce. Let's call this the Postman live stream book recommendation. And what am I creating? I
think it works without you giving us, but thank you for giving us a bit more data so we know what people are using Typeform for.
All right. Cool. So what's the first question we're going to want to ask our audience today? Just for the book recommendation or anything else?
I think you can do something, but it could be as simple as just give me the name of a book, and you can switch this to an open text, so there'll be a short text, for example.
All right.
And so people can fill up the book here. But as we try to do the things a bit more conversational, I think we can start by a question about someone's name. It's like, hey, what is your name?
All right.
And so that would be a short text probably as well.
I've done these live stream. I've asked live stream people before, and they're not going to want to give their name.
Okay.
So we can delete this one then.
Oh, you can leave it optional though. Yeah.
It's optional. It's not required, but it's also better to know who is recommended to, so you can I guess acknowledge them.
That's true. I know John's work alias really likes stuff about surveillance, so that's already more information.
Yeah, and then you can call yourself Toto. You can call yourself. You come up with a fake name if you need to. But on the book recommendation question, you can make this a bit more personal. And so now, where you were typing the question, you do @, and now you can say click on the thing. And so now, if you say, "Oh, what is your name, Nico?" and it'll be like, "Hey, Nico, what do you recommend? what is your book recommendation? Perfect.
Cool.
So you make this whole thing a bit more conversational, a bit more personal. Everybody has a different experience. And so it could be like this simple form where we just ask those two questions. But I think it could be also interesting to play around with what would be a select column on Notion. So like have a drop down, a multiple choice, so people can say, oh, this is
Genre?
a genre, right? Is that how you say it?
Oh, how do you say it?
I say genre.
Okay, so then genre.
Well,
So make that shortcut as well.
No, you can. So you can. I think maybe better for this would probably be either a drop down or a multiple choice. You can even have a picture choice if you would like to illustrate each genre.
I think this is going to showcase my incompetence at book genres, but I'm gonna put fantasy, like nonfiction, mystery, but I'm open to suggestions.
history. I like
History.
I love like war movies or war movies. Books
Movies.
Yeah.
Business books, I guess. This is what a lot of people will suggest as well.
That's
Self-help,
fair. Business,
self-help.
tech, self-help. All
Cool.
right.
All right,
Maybe
we have a
I'll
lot of
move
options.
this to the end. I'll move this to the end here, just in case anyone wants to
Wait,
send over
science
fantasy
fiction. I like science fiction is my
All right.
I like science fiction better than history.
There we
So
go.
you get to decide if you wanted to order this in a specific order, but that will be it. And actually, on the right side, so when you click save on those choices, we give you the option to sort it alphabetically or randomize on the
Oh.
option.
Randomize that.
We'll definitely randomize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, randomize is a way to go against some of the biases of like, oh, this is the first option in the top. This is what people are going to always select. Yeah, and then I guess with this, you really have a simple form.
Yeah.
No, I want one more. I want one more that's like a one-line synopsis. So like I don't want to have
Summary.
like a TLDR.
Got it. So we'll add that as a long text, and we'll say book summary. And that should be that.
Yeah, and you should
Or
just have to.
can I actually use that and say,
Doesn't that mean if they answer what is your name with I'd prefer not to say?
It's going to be, hey, I prefer know what to say. Yes. It's whatever they're going to put in the first question. Yeah. Quick description of, yeah, that's awesome. You see, you really have the Typeform
perfect
vibe. And I think if you're done, you just have to click publish on the top right. And now this form is available to everybody.
Cool. All right. Awesome. Now I have this form. So how do I look at the responses via the API? How do I use the API now? Because I have the form.
Let's drop a link to it in the chat and I'll post it in the chat. It's public, right? Published?
Yep.
So
anybody
how do
can
I get the link for this form?
So now you have to go back under the share section.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
see.
a small pop-up. Yeah, and you can copy this link.
All right, I'm going to put this here, and then Joyce will put it in the big chat.
Okay, this is going in the big chat.
And so if you click on it yourself, you can go through all the different questions that people have, that you have set up. And right now it's the default theme, but you can obviously personalize it to your own night if you want to put to.
All right, so this should be optional, right?
Oh, yeah, they're all optional.
Oh no.
Okay. Oh no, what have I done? How do I go back?
We're going to have junk records in our Notion database.
All right, I'm going to not do this right now, but it works. We're good.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm probably gonna make a first recommendation. So we have one recorder and we can play with the API, right? Okay. So I'm gonna recommend. It was not part of your list, but I'm gonna recommend a comic. I don't really read
Picture
books.
book.
Picture book sounds like a kid's book. It's not really a kid's book. It's a comic. And
you mean a graphic novel?
That's better. That's better.
It sounds more intellectual. So people in the chat just dropped a link to this survey that we just built, this Typeform survey. It's all optional information, but what I want to know is, what are your book recommendations? Tell me something that like you think is worth, I mean, you don't know what my tastes are, but go ahead and recommend it, and then we'll add this to our database. And then maybe I will publish like little book reports on books that I read. Like, what do I think of it? And then other people can comment on it. So what are we doing now?
All right, so I submitted my first response, my suggestion. And so if you go under results, you should see the result coming from people that are filling it up. But at least, wow, we have 7 responses already. So that gives you the drop off of where people have stopped. But if you go in responses, you should see every single response.
Okay. This is yours, I think. Yep, I think this is you.
Yeah,
cool.
So I recommended Lock and Key. You probably have watched the Netflix series, but the comic book is really nice also.
I don't know Lock and Key.
Me neither.
Well, go to your local comic store and and go check it out and buy it. It's a story about a family, a secret in a family, about a house. They have to move to a really old house, and they find out about keys. They open different things.
All right, welcome, Wasif. We just got started. We just created a Typeform survey to collect book recommendations. Aman is about to build, I think, a collection. It's like a mini app that is going to take results from the Typeform API, stuff them into a database using the Notion API, and I think we can do some cool things with this once it's in code. So do you want to start stuffing this?
Yeah, I guess now you want to get the responses via API, right?
Correct. So should I go to Postman first, or should I go and take a look at your documentation first? What do you recommend, Nico?
You have both options. I'll say if you go to our documentation, there is a button that says Run in Postman, because I'm not sure our collection is published exactly the way it should be.
Developer.typeform.com. All right.
And if you click on the response API,
let's learn more.
And so you should see a way to retrieve responses. So that's exactly what we want to do.
What I want to do for sure.
And under the getting started, under the getting started, this is where you're going to find the Postman example.
Okay, got it. Getting started.
Run in Postman. That's going to be the first thing. Sorry, there's on the guide left. There's a run in.
Oh, I see where it is. Okay, so.
Okay, if you guys want to
along.
If you want to do this more easily, let me drop a link to the Typeform
you have it directly.
workspace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sorry.
It's okay. Like so, people can just fork it into their own workspace.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and click this button though, this Run in Postman button.
Yeah, it's a good button.
And run in. Let's try the Mac app if this works. Oh, I have a workspace just for this live stream. Import. All right, cool. Here I am.
And now you're gonna need an API key, I guess. But you see all the different API calls you can make.
I do see all of them right here.
And the one that we're interested in is the responses.
What's RTBF?
Right to be forgotten. So we have something where if a user, that's per GDPR laws, is like if you have collected information about myself and I have filled up a type form where I left my details, I have the right to contact the owner of this form and say, oh, could you delete all the data you have about me? And so there is an API way to do this for our clients.
That's nice. So
Very
you can
cool.
just like you can scrape all the surveys that you've been a part of potentially, and then just programmatically say, forget me, forget me, forget me.
Not forget me, but yeah.
Or
not forgive me, but forget me.
Forget me, yeah.
I believe. Yeah, that's the idea. So yeah, here you have retrieve responses, and what we're interested in is to get the token, and you get this into your account.
Yes, all right. I need an API key first. Let's go get that.
Oh, do you need me to hide your screen?
Hopefully people here don't take my API key.
But not just yet. I don't think it's going to be shown yet. So if you go in your Typeform account.
Yes. Not here. Here.
Not here. Yes. Into settings. Yeah.
John's work alias. Get that shortcut ready.
Yes. under personal token. So personal token is a way for you to create an API key that will have access to all the forms you have in your accounts. We also support OAuth, but OAuth is more like giving access on behalf of someone. But like for this purpose of this hack, that's all we need.
Okay.
I guess you can create a token.
Yeah. Let's do that.
And yeah, you can give it a name, and you can also give it scopes. And so the good thing about the scopes is like you get to decide what it is going to do. And in this case, we're only interested by responses. So if someone finds out this token, they can only read responses, which is already a pretty big deal. But
right. So I don't want to read the form. I want to read the responses. So read, and that's it.
Yep.
All right, let's make this as little as possible. All
right.
I
think the next screen, when you're going to click save, is going to show your screen. It's going to show you the token. So this is where we probably need Joyce magic to hide it.
Wait, hold on. I don't know how to hold on. How do I? Oh no, there's restream. Okay, I know how to do this.
All right.
All right.
So
I'm gonna get my token.
Create the token. Copy it.
Copied. All right, I've got the token.
Yeah, probably put it into an environment variable in the Postman collection.
It's not Nico's first stream.
It is not.
Sorry.
There's still a chance we'll reveal it, but don't worry about that.
All right, if I did this right, it should be there now. So we shouldn't have to look at it again.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
You sure?
Let's hope so.
Okay.
All right. So now under authorization.
Yeah.
Can you zoom in one more click, please? Thank you.
Okay. And so I guess you have to select the environment, which right now you're not on any environment.
Yes. It should just show up here under token, I think, which is where I saved it on my authorization right here.
Ah.
So this should work. Fingers crossed.
Yes. And so there's probably one thing that you need to change in the params will be the form ID.
Yes. So let's go. Let's save this. I'll have to also save that, and save it again.
Save. Yes, that's the thing I always forget, saving.
That's what I always forget. I constantly forget to save when I update variables in Postman.
All right.
I need the form ID. How do I get the form ID?
So the form ID is actually the last letters of the URL. So PCOVH, that's the form ID.
Thank you. All right. So I'm going to put this right here.
Yeah, you can hard code this.
Cool.
And you can uncheck. Yeah, I don't think we need any of those right now.
All right, we'll uncheck all of these.
So all those parameters help you. They help you narrow down the search on all the responses you have collected. So if you want to get all the responses from last week, or if you want to get all the responses that mention something special.
Yeah, there's a question from Shiva for OAuth. So when you created your API key, you selected custom scopes. You only gave it one read response scope, right? So
Correct.
The question here is, in Postman, there is a section that allows you to specify scope when you're setting up OAuth. However, I'm not sure if this is what you're asking, Shiva, but you won't be able to usurp or take precedence over any scopes that you create in Typeform. The Typeform scope, you can't exceed the scope by what you place into Postman.
And because we did this, we're not going through a regular OAuth flow. We skip this part of like exchanging token authorization. We have a token that works just for a scope we have defined. But eventually you can do that as well if you support OAuth. I think this is the time to click send, right?
Yeah, let's try this. Save this.
So confident.
And let's see if this works.
Boom.
Oh, there you
Whoa,
go.
very nice.
Very, very nice. I can see all my responses right here, I think. You want to walk me through how to read through this?
Yes, so you have an array of responses, and then for each response, it has an array of answers. And the answers are actually the answer to each individual question. So as we're going to go through all the responses in this form, we're then going to go through the answers array to then map them to a column on Notion. We also give you details on like when the person has started the form and when they submitted, so you have a guess on like how long it took them to do it.
Okay.
These type of things.
Is it like ordered in a specific way? Like, how do I tell which question is which question? Like, which question is which question here?
Yes. So each question, so you see the field ID and field ref. Each question has an ID, which is random, and a ref, which is also random. But if you want, we can make it more readable by changing the ref. So if we go back to your form, we can take a small step.
So back here, back to my form. That's not it.
Yeah, workspaces. Exactly. In the editing of this form, under the gear on the top right, there should be a developer option, and that's going to be just under our pictures. And this is the ref. And so here you can say something that's a bit more readable in the code. Yeah.
Got it. Recommendation.
I feel like that should be a default.
I mean, for developers, but a lot of people don't really care. And most of our users are not developers.
Good point.
Got it. So if I save these now and I run that again in Postman, will this update?
It should be.
You're right. There we go. We got name, recommendation, genre. Awesome. Perfect.
So that should make the code a bit more readable instead of saying, go fetch the question with ID something.
Hey, Aman, do you mind if we just do a quick log statement? I don't know how good you are at like parsing JSON, but can we do a quick log statement where we just say like the name of the book and then who submitted it? I can help with parsing JSON, although it's a very small window.
Yes, I have not done that in Postman though. So
yeah, let's do it real quick.
A little bit.
Yeah, under the tests tab.
Yes.
We're gonna go like let res equal PM response. We'll just write a little bit of JavaScript. So let res equal PM dot response.
And this is PM is Postman, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's just the sandbox API.
Okay.
Dot JSON. Open close parens. And then let's just console log res dot, oh my gosh, can somebody help me parse JSON? Res dot, oh, it's so small and it's behind our face.
Oh man, it's gonna be res, looks like dot items dot answers.
Yes, and is the whole thing, so you'll need to items dot for each.
Oh no, it's items, yeah. How big is this items array? Take a look.
We don't have that many readers out there, do we? Actually, I actually see a couple good books, it looks like.
Yeah. How is this structured, Nico? It looks like there is, each item is like one response. Is that right?
We have some help coming from the audience. Sean Ryan Keegan is saying you could just console log res just to get the whole object so we can expand. Arlumi is trying to parse. Oh, was it an array?
I think each item in the items array is a response. So we need to.
Oh, Nico, we can't hear you.
Sorry,
Nico speaking?
I was muting myself. But our Arlumi suggestion is great. If we can just print the first one or the latest we have. So res.items of 0, and then you get the answers. And this is all the individual answers to all the different questions for this person.
All right, let's try that.
Okay, so when you hit send, open up the console at the bottom left.
Bottom left.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are your network calls, but go ahead
Whoa,
and hit send.
what's
Whoa,
this?
whoa.
It doesn't like it. We'll try it anyways. Okay.
Okay, expand. We only had 4? I thought we had more.
No.
Pagination.
No. There is the responses are each individual person that has answered. The answers are the answer to each question. So right now we are consoling, like we're just in the console, we are only showing one response, but all the questions that were answered. So you have.
This is just the first response. I understand.
Yes.
Got it.
So the first thing in the answers will be the name, then it will be the name of the book, the third would be the genre, and the fourth would be the
genre.
Will be why should I read this book?
Got it.
So who suggested Killers of the Flower Moon? Did they say?
It was, if you look up, KG.
Looks like KG, yes.
It's a KG answer.
So you can, we can. This is probably how we will do it. Is like go through this array of responses, extract each answer, and then place in the corresponding column.
So it's like a for each loop. Go through each or item, and then from there, print out each of the responses. Okay, that makes sense. Should we do that now, or should we go and try to get this data?
I just wanted to see what some of the ones were. Please proceed with what you were going to do.
Yeah, I think now we should probably check what is it on the Notion side, and then we can connect the two, huh?
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. So I can drive from here a little bit on the Notion side. I guess first things first, if anyone is following along, you'll need to head over to notion.so, and there's a link to that. That is where you will create your first workspace. So I've already created a workspace here, but it shouldn't take more than a couple seconds for you to spin this up. And yeah, in your workspace, you'll have these like pre-selected, predefined pages. And I'll give everyone a couple seconds to get that spun up. But yeah.
We have a question for Nicolas from Shiva. Is this scope restricted to a specific request only, or does it allow use with the token generated?
Good question.
Like, is the token associated with just the survey's read response, the single survey?
No, so it's going to be across your account. So if a token is associated with your account, so if we want to look at responses from other surveys with the token that we have defined that only has the response read scope, then we can do it.
Okay. And we do have a suggestion from Neil Stud. I think it's a great suggestion. It depends on if we get stuck anywhere, but I'll bet you, Aman, you don't know about the visualizer, but we could probably visualize data. So if we get there, great suggestion. Please proceed.
All right, cool. So once we're in Notion, we're going to go ahead. So Notion is structured with pages and databases. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new page here, and I'll call this livestream page. And once I have a page, I can create a table, which is what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and rename this to book recommendation page, which is what this is going to be. And we'll add so we could add a table here like this. And this is where all of our recommendations would show up. We want them to show up from the Typeform in. But we did just release an API that lets you create databases. So we're going to use that instead. But this is a visual of what this database should look like once you have database created. And databases look just like this. You can have properties. You can have columns. Columns have properties. checkboxes, multi-select, select numbers, text, as you will have you. But we want to create a database in this page right here. And in this page, we want to store all of our book recommendations.
What's the difference between a table and a database?
They're both the same.
Okay, got it.
A table is a database in Notion. We use the two terms interchangeably.
Cool.
Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this for now and just create a blank page for book recommendations.
And it looks like we just had a couple folks join. So just to recap what we're doing, people are providing book recommendations in a Typeform survey. Let me go ahead and, oh gosh, I'll find that link and post it again in case anyone joined us late. And now we are going to dynamically create a Notion database, brand new to their brand new API. You guys are doing some active development on it. And then I think we'll be able to update that database programmatically using the API too.
Yes, that is correct. But first things first, we have to get a token to use the API. So to do that, we're going to head over to settings and members right here. So settings and members, we're going to head down to integrations. And right here, you can see I have a bunch of other integrations I've created, but I want to develop my own integration, a new one today. That brings me here to our integration management site. So I'm going to go ahead and send a link to that as well. And you can use this to build integrations both internally and publicly. So much like Nico mentioned with Typeform, you can get a token just to use for yourself, but we also support OAuth, but you can use that to distribute applications to anyone. And that's all done from right here at this integration site. But I'm going to go ahead and create a new integration. And a couple of things, I'm going to need to give it a name. So I'm going to name this book rec bot. I can give it an image, and I'll also have to pick a workspace. And I was in the API demo workspace. So I'm going to continue using the API demo workspace. And when I hit submit, it is going to show my token to everyone. So I'm going to ask for some Joyce magic again to hide my screen while I do that. Thank you.
So much chatter going on in the chat right now. I'm still trying to post the link to my integrations. Are you doing secret stuff, Aman?
I'm just getting my token, that's all.
Ah, got it.
I'm going to re-hide it. Okay, you can share my screen now.
Okay.
Cool. So this is what it looks like when I have a bot that's been created. This is my token that's been redacted. And then, yeah, here I have my book rec bot logo that I didn't upload. And then is this internal or is this public? So this is an internal integration just for me. But if I wanted, I could just click this and fill out some details and make it a public integration that anyone else could install. Cool. So there's one last step to getting a Notion integration to work, and that is I need to give the integration access to this page. And to do that, I'm going to go to the share menu right here, and I'm going to add under bot this book rec bot that I just added. And I'm going to say it can edit and invite. So this bot now has access to edit this page, edit and read this page. So all tokens in Notion have an edit scope and a read scope attached to them. Those aren't changeable right now. So yeah, this bot now has access to this. Cool.
We did have a question from Lionel.
Yes.
Previously, it was just possible to get a token page for the integration.
That is what we migrated that to the My Integrations page, but it is the same functionality where you go to My Integrations, open the integration, and you just have a token there. That used to be in the product, but we did move that to this external site out of the product.
Good question, Lionel. Okay.
Cool. So next, I'll go back to my Postman collection, and I will want to bring in my Notion API collection. So can I do it the cool way you just showed us in the beginning of this live stream, Joyce?
Do it.
How does that work? Where is that little light bulb you were looking at?
So you need to be in the builder. Oh, you're in the Electron app.
Oh, never mind.
So you probably need to update your version or yeah, or do it in the web.
Okay. Let's see, how do I bring it in from here? What's the best way to bring my collection in from here?
Let's search for it at the top center. Search
All right.
for, yeah. There you are.
Is this it? Is this going to work?
Your workspace. Yeah, go to it.
All right. Oh, that's my workspace. How do I, okay, fork
So
this
then
collection?
Select the collection on the left.
Yes.
And then so bravo, Aman, 884 so far. So go ahead and fork it.
Cool.
Let's make this number go higher.
Yeah.
Fork label, live stream fork. And we'll pick the live stream workspace.
Boom.
Cool.
I'll drop a link to that. I'll drop a link to that specific collection. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's wrong. I am unable to post. Unable to post. I'll ask. Oh, Sean's here. I'll ask Sean to post it. But Nico, you made some joke about let's make that forks go higher. Yeah, fork away. Because hopefully you're following along.
Yeah. Well, we can tell who's following along now by looking at that fork number. And because this API to create a database is so new, like we're talking 4 days old, I don't believe it's actually in our Postman collection yet. So it'll be a quick add. I'll be adding a call right here for that. But this collection does give you the ability to see users, see databases, query databases, create pages in Notion, and then blocks is content. So you can get content and add content to a page, and then also search from within Notion.
I mean, if you add this new thing, and now that you have forked it, I guess you can push it as a pull request to the main.
I could. That would be a first for me personally. But the first thing I will need to do is add a token here, and that's going to be my token. So I'm going to ask you to hide my screen while I put my token here.
Yeah. So for the people that are forking on today's stream, Aman, go ahead and proceed with your token hiding thing. But everyone else that is forking it now, but they don't see the post to create a new database, once Notion updates that in their collection, you can pull changes. And that's the whole reason why Postman does the forking, because there's a link forever associated with your version and Notion's version, and now you can always pull updates.
Is there a way to hide my variable in the variables section, Joyce?
In the variables editor, no.
Because there are other variables to add here, like the page ID of the page that I created.
You can programmatically create those variables.
But it's not going to show the whole thing, right? It's just going to show the beginning of it, right?
Well, it depends on how big your screen is and how you're dragging them over. I saw part of a secret earlier. I didn't want to call attention to it.
Okay. It should be okay if you see part of my secret, so we can share my screen.
Risky click.
But all right, the secret's there. You can't see all of it, so it should be fine. But basically, to use the Notion collection, you need to give us some other values. And we use these values throughout the entire collection, which is a database ID, a user ID, and a page ID to use the other calls we have. So to get the database, to get the page ID for this page, I'm going to go ahead and just copy the last little bit right here in the URL. That is the page ID that I need to use. I'm going to add that right here as the page ID. Cool. So I have added a page ID and a bearer token. So we're going to go to databases, and we'll want to add a request here, which is going to be to create a database.
I am so interrupting, Aman, but Sean
Yes.
Ryan Kagan did have a good suggestion. You could have private variables in your environment because that's separate from the collection. And then you could have other variables as collection variables. So Sean Ryan Keegan is suggesting playing around with variable scopes. Yes, that's what scopes are there for.
Okay. Is that something we can do after this, or should we do it right now? Up to you.
Shiva had the same idea. So the secrets are an environment variable. So the next time you bring the environment editor up,
yes, we can do
you'll
that.
have to be careful, but you can expose all of your collection variables.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, that's good to know. I did not know that before. Cool. So let's go ahead and pull up documentation for creating a Notion database. So this is our developer site right here. Oh, this is going to be tricky to look at side by side, isn't it? Oh boy.
You can make it bigger. Or like, yeah, that's fine.
All right, and then, so this is documentation to create a database in Notion. The database requires a parent, the page parent, a title, and then a set of properties. And this is the schema you want for your database. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, and Joyce can plop this into the chat for me. But yeah, so properties in Notion's in API is what we use to define a schema for a database. We're going to go ahead and use that. Let's go ahead right here. I'm going to move this off my screen a little bit. And let's go ahead and create this database. And we'll grab the URL from the documentation. And it's going to be a post request to this. And then in the body parameters, we're going to need...
I think you have a return at the end of your URL. Is that okay?
Oh, I did not see that. That's a good call. All right. So here in the body, I will need to add the parent.
Oh, select JSON from the top and it'll help you. Maybe it'll help you write it.
It would look better for sure.
That's true. Will it look better?
We still need the quotes, I think.
Yeah. All right. So the parent is going to be type, and the type is going to be page ID. And then we want to give it the page ID, which is going to be, will this work?
Autocomplete's trying to help you.
Does not like that though.
Do you need to put it in quotes?
The comma.
Is that gonna work? I think so.
Jason linting on live stream.
After you need a title, the title is of type text. I wonder if I can just copy this from our API documentation. Let's see if that works. Oh, there we go. So this is the title we need, and the content here will be book recs.
Aman, is the Notion API just REST?
It is just REST, yes.
Just REST.
All right, and then we need to define the properties that we want in this. So we want a name, which is the name of, well, should we put the name of the user in the database?
Yes.
If they gave us their name?
I do want to know attribution.
All
But
right,
you
so
want the
I guess,
name of the book to be the...
yes, we want the book name to be first. We'll call this book name.
Book name.
And this will be the title of the database entry.
Mm-hmm.
And then we want the description of the book, which is a type rich text, which is the long form text we had. And then we also want, I'm guessing, the genre of the book. And the genre is going to be of type select, not of type checkbox.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the select, we're going to want to create a few options for our select. Let's go ahead and do that. But we will we'll make a few of them here. So we'll name, I think we had science fiction. We had
history. Does anyone know the emojis for these? Because it's important.
You get to pick what is history for you.
Does Mac have a emoji keyboard?
That's a good question. They do, but I have no idea how to pull it up. Oh, that's not it. I have no idea how to do it. That was not it.
Don't worry about it.
But the other cool part of the API is now that when we create entries, we can dynamically add more options. So if we see one in the Typeform responses that don't exist in this list of the list I created, we can dynamically add them if we need to. And from here, I think I might be using a curly brace. That should be it. And let's go ahead and try to send this. Uh-oh. Live coding. Do either of you see what makes this JSON?
Slow down. I don't see the JSON error, but Arlemy is super helpful.
Yes, so the quotes probably. The quotes around the page ID, because the page ID is not a number. It could contain letters as well.
Oh yes, to be valid JSON. Yes, very nice. Neil Stud and John's work alias for the win. And Arlemy is saying Control Command Spacebar is for emojis. So if we want to
Command Spacebar, got it. Well, let's see if that did it. Invalid request URL. What have I done?
You have database, and I think it's probably databases in the request. Right?
You are correct.
Ooh.
And now there's no token.
Unauthorized.
So this is using the bearer token from the API public beta. Oh, and this right here is using this bearer token. This should be pulling. Oh, you know what it is? I didn't save again, Joyce.
You were just saying this. Oh no, bad request.
And now I'm missing the version header. If that's something new we just added, our API is newly versioned.
Oh, very nice.
As of I want to say 2 weeks ago, we added our first version. We want to have a Notion version, and the only version we have today is our public beta release, which is going to be not that. It's going to be 2021 0513. That might need to be in quotes. Oh, there we go.
200.
So it has returned to me my database right here that I just created. And if I go back to my Notion page, here's this database that was created with the book name, description, and genre that we asked for. Cool.
Can we update the database with emojis, please?
We can. What icon should we add to the data? What should the database icon be?
It's probably a book, right?
Glasses.
Oh, glasses.
You know what? We will make it glasses in honor of Nico. And we can add a cover to this database.
Ooh.
We can change this cover. We can use Unsplash to look for something that's book related.
Oh, yes.
And we can pick this cool little library as the cover for our database. So yeah, this is our little database now.
And if
And
you go
because,
in the
yes, go for it.
in the select of the genre, you see the different options that were there, right?
Yeah, so you can see that the three, where'd it go? Configure options. Yeah, so we can see the three we added in the API call. Oh, can you see my screen, or is my face
behind
blocking
Nico's
this?
head.
Is this better?
Yes.
Cool, you can see the three that I added in that API call where I made this database, but we can add more dynamically when we bring in the responses from Typeform.
We have a question from Lionel. When you define your schema while creating the database, if you add an entry with an additional property, does it update the schema?
That's a good question. So no, you cannot update the schema itself by adding properties when you add items, but what have I done? But what you can do is add additional options for the select field, but you can't actually update the properties that exist. But that is something that we are working on. So maybe on the next live stream, I'll show you how to add properties.
It's really interesting. I didn't realize you could customize like your database, or you could customize the appearance of your database like this. I think with Typeform and Notion, part of the reason why you guys have both been so successful is because whoever is working at your company actually cares about the user experience. No, I'm not even kidding. Some people are all about like, it doesn't matter if it's ugly, it doesn't matter if it's a little hard to work with, it's all about the underlying functionality. But both of your teams, whoever is in your design or your engineering teams, they actually care about that kind of stuff. And you see how much fun we have, like just selecting emojis. Like who the heck prioritizes emoji support?
Shout out to Notion engineering and design team for sure.
The emojis have been a big thing of Notion since the beginning. Also, as a user, I've used it all the time.
Yeah.
To the point where I think I made a comment where I think it gives you a random emoji when you select an icon, and I think it gave me a coffin, and I think I sent a tweet to the Notion team. It was like, "Oh, this is already killing my project," as my random assigned emoji was a coffin.
We do have a question from Ariane. How is the color of the tag different?
Yeah, so when you configure your options, it randomly, again, you can't see it. It randomly assigns colors here, but you can go ahead and you can update these colors by clicking on the three dots next to an option. But the Notion API will randomly assign colors to new options when they're created. But yeah, that's how that's done.
Oh my gosh, Aman, we got a chippity chop.
We got to hustle.
Yeah.
Okay, so to add a entry to a database, we need to create a page. And this is a Notion concept where each entry in a database is a page in its own right. And I can demo this really quickly by just saying new page or new entry. And this is a new entry in this database, but I can open it. And now this entry is a page. And it has the properties right here from the database. And then I can add content right here. So each entry in a Notion database is a page, which is how you have like nested, like you can go 100 levels deep with pages and databases. But we're going to want to create a page. So I guess the question that I have now is, how do I get my Typeform data here? How do I get the data from Typeform into this request?
Didn't you already have it where? Yeah.
So it is here, but how do I use it to make a request now?
Here, let's create a new. Oh, Nico, you want to talk them through it? You know how to do Postman-y things.
No, I wanted to make sure I had the right solution in mind, and you will suggest something similar. So if I create a collection and it has two different requests, one that will get first the responses from Typeform, and the second that will create the database, like the pages in Notion. Is that how it should work?
That's how I would do it.
Woo!
Woo! Nico, Postman expert.
All right, so that we making a new collection now?
I think so. That way you're not messing with the API reference and the workflow that you're building.
All right.
And you're probably going to have to define each token as an environment, like the Notion one and the Typeform one in this new collection.
This is my first time doing environments in Postman, so make a new environment, and then add the variables here.
It should be one. So use like camel case or snake case or what's the other one? Typeform.
I'm sure you can. Yep.
Kebab case.
All right, there we go. And all right, so let me grab my tokens real quick and put them in here.
Should I hide?
Yes.
Okay, let's just look at our faces. Let's bring on chat. Hello, everyone in chat. Are you? Oh, okay, yes. Nico, you moved your face, and I tried to correct if I'm moving my face. So yes, what do you guys learn? Oh, there's something called Pascal case. Oh, that's what it is. Interesting. Why is it called Pascal?
From probably the programming language called Pascal, inspired by Blaise Pascal, the mathematician.
But this is their oops, my cat's on my desk. Oh, is Willie Geertz there? Willie Geertz's favorite cat is on the screen. Okay. Pascal just means camel case except with the front letter capitalized.
Ooh.
I don't know.
All right, you can re-show my screen, I think.
Okay, hold on. We're getting all sorts of preferences for okay, here we go.
All right, so I've added 2 variables to my environment. So,
Perfect.
and this is my collection, live demo collection. And when I go to variables, do I have to add them here now? Or how do I use them?
You can use them already in you just need to select the environment as your actively selected environment. So from that drop down in the top right.
Top right. Oh, I see.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Hey, can Aman copy the request that he already did? So like the get responses from Typeform, he can copy it into that new collection?
You can duplicate it. Yep. So find which one you want. Retrieve responses. The right.
Okay.
Yep. Duplicate. And then drag over.
Oh,
Whoop.
sit. Okay,
Yep.
cool. And the other one we're going to need is creating a page. Let's go ahead and grab that and put that here.
Okay.
All right. And that should be all we need for this.
Go to your Typeform retrieve responses copy again. Yeah. Let's see
Yes.
what it looks like. How did you use your token?
Yeah, probably needs to change the headers with the new variable name that you have given.
Yeah.
All right. This is the same type form. There you go.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Cool.
Okay.
So how do you pass? Another question is how you pass.
Right. So how do I use this
to
data?
to the next request?
How do you do that in programming?
Well, I got to save this somewhere. So can I save this?
Yeah,
and call it?
Yeah, you can actually use variables. So right now you're manually creating variables, but just like you console logged that response, you can set a variable too.
Oh, that is cool. All right.
You're going to have to parse.
That is fine. But how do I have to create an environment variable to use it in the next request or something?
I think some of the folks in the chat were suggesting keeping your super secrets in environment, but otherwise we could just use collection level variables so we can look at it without sharing things. So go ahead and on a new row, you'll just go ahead and say pm.collection .set.
Interesting. Okay.
And then open parentheses. The first param is going to be the name of the variable. So probably like responses or something like that. Yep. Or in a string.
Yeah, it has to be in quotes, right?
Oh. All right.
And then the second one will be the value. You could probably just do that whole thing in your console log statement, and then you can parse it in the next one.
Sorry, say that again?
Just copy and paste what you have in the console log below. Yeah. And so that's going to be
one response.
Oh,
That'll be one
response.
response, right?
Okay.
So if you want to get everything, you just get items. Yeah.
And we have the only Typeform variable that we've declared is the Typeform token that so far, which is super secret in an environment variable. But we are about to programmatically create collection variables just to pass along our information.
Got it. All right. So let's go ahead and first go through this. So items is the array, right? So I want to do a for each in the items array. So I'm going to do for, it's been a while since I've done this. What is the syntax for each in JavaScript?
You can do the array dot for each.
Yep. Res.items.for each.
So the name of the array is, I don't know what it is. Oh, it's
item
res.
Dot for each?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With a capital E.
Camel case. Sorry, what is that? Snake? Snake case?
All right.
I'm so...
And looks like each thing in items.
Yeah.
Is a answer?
Yeah. No, it's not. Oh, it's another piece of JSON.
Yeah, you get the response, and then you can do like R and then R.answer, and that would be the thing.
I'm gonna call it answer.
Yeah.
And then do we need anything else in here? That should be it, right?
So for each answer, you need to return something. So to go answer space, I don't know. I think we're mixing syntaxes here, but go fat arrow.
Can I do that in here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm
And
gonna say answer or answers is going to be, or like this is bad, but answers is going to be the actual answer dot the answers.
Yep.
That
Yes.
looks weird.
It does look weird.
But
I'm gonna change this to individual response so it looks better. And then the answers is individual response. All right, that should.
So then you're looping through everything to get the answer?
Yes, so I have the answers here. So answers is going to be this field here.
It's behind my face.
Oh no. How do I show this?
Yeah. Very tiny.
Oh no.
So you want to extract the value of each answer right here?
Right, give me 1 sec. Can I close this? No. Can I get rid of this? Somewhere, there we go.
So if the answer is a type text, you can have it by doing answer.text. So answers array.text, like array index.text.
Answers.
Yeah.
Array, is that what you said?
Yeah. So we can do this. So like the first one will be the name. So answers of zero.
Okay.
That would be the name.
Answer zeros dot
text.
That
will give you the name.
All right.
And then answers one would be. No, sorry. Answers one dot. It was a text as well, so that would be like the title of the book. Book title.
Sorry. And then we have the description. It's going to be answers 2.
I think
text.
It's probably answer 3. The answer 2 will be the genre. And so it's going to be answer 2. And here it's going to be, if you look at the payload.
Let's
it has a
Get
different structure. Actually, it's .text as well. Oh, it's perfect. Everything is
All right.
text. It's very convenient. And so that makes one book recommendation. So
Yep. So then I should probably create like an array of something and push it to this array.
yeah.
So I'll call this.
And I think you can probably turn the for each into a map. That's probably easier.
That's good, yeah.
So that's collections dot set, and we'll call this responses. And can I just leave it as like an empty array?
Yeah, you won't want to save it. You can manipulate anything. This tab that you're on right now is almost like a local scope. So you can declare local variables like that kind of stuff. And then only when you want to pass it on and persist that data will you want to set a collection variable.
Got it. That's good to know. So I'll call this responses is that. And then here I'll do a responses dot or let's see. I need to push this to.
You can do so what you can do a map. So instead of doing rest item dot for each, you can do rest item dot map, and then you can do responses equal rest dot item dot map. So before on line 3.
Yes.
Line 3
at the beginning.
At the beginning of the line.
An array.
Yeah, map return an array.
Right here.
Before, like really before.
At the start of the line.
Start of the line.
Let responses equal.
Got it.
This okay, and then in the map we're gonna do return, and then you can return an object, and that will be name, book title, genre, and description.
I love how Nico can say hamburger with an American accent and he can't say the word genre.
Right. That's gonna be name.
No, you don't need to. It will do it by itself.
Okay. Awesome.
ES6 stuff.
Ooh, fancy.
Fancy. Yeah. I did not know that. All right. Cool.
I think so. we'll see if that
find
works.
out.
And then I guess we can do the set.
I want
and
to
the
save responses here as the local responses. Will that work?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Maybe.
And
we'll find out.
Go ahead and get rid of that.
Yes.
And how can I print out this? Can I print out responses?
Yep.
All right. Let's go ahead and make it a little bigger. It's a little smaller. Look at the console. Oh boy.
Save.
That. Oh no.
For the love of God, save.
Save. Uh-oh. Cannot read property text with undefined.
Oh, where did that throw?
Probably here. Is my guess.
Is it
JSON?
yes. Is it? We should probably display what is answers on line 5 and see if we have it.
Yes. Let's do that. Let's try that.
That's true. That's a good.
Oh, Don Sporkulis is saying if fields were optional, it could be null.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, we're getting them for a while. It looks like answers is working and then it throws.
Okay, let's go to the code.
All right. So you have to wrap each of these in an if.
Yes.
You can do the tertiary, or what's it called?
Ternary.
What is the ternary?
So name equals answers dot zero question mark.
Yep.
Is that right? Question mark, then answers dot zero or answers zero dot text. Do you need spaces?
You probably need spaces.
Yeah, before and after that thingy. Yep.
And then after you do colon,
Space colon.
space colon, yeah. And then,
Null.
yeah, empty, something like this, yeah. So what it does is like, the condition is like, if answer of 0 exists,
Right.
do what's after the question mark, and if not, if it's not the valid condition, then you return what's after the colon.
And John's work alias has an amazing suggestion that instead of null, maybe we should use emojis, except for the fact that I have a meeting in 8 minutes. Chippity chop! The pressure's on!
All right, let's save it and try running it. Oh, there we go. 22 responses. Name, book title, genre, and
Arlamy.
All right, so
right.
now the challenge is to do this in 7 minutes to, on the next request,
Yes.
to go through that collection variable
We can
and
do
create
it.
the page.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. I need to first take the auth here and say this is going to be a bearer token and not the Typeform token. It's going to be the Notion token.
Yes.
And then in the body, I need to give it my database ID, which I don't have still. So let me go ahead and grab my database ID. That's going to be my database ID right here.
Aman's cool as a cucumber, folks.
Let's go ahead and grab that. And I then need to update this request that I have to actually like use what the properties that we have. But okay, let's go ahead and see. How do I get the data? I can just call it from here, right? So properties, the first thing is going to be, let's go ahead and look at our database. Book name is the title. So we'll call this book name. And for content, I need to use the data from that variable now. So how do I get that data from the variable?
So in the body tab, you can use string substitution. So if you had an exact title, like variable name, you could poke it in there with double curly braces. But I think you'll need to be doing some JavaScript, correct?
Yeah, probably, yes.
Yeah, how are we going to loop through this?
So you can loop through it. In the pre-request script, you can use JavaScript. So pre-request and test tab, you can write JavaScript before and after. You just need to set collection variables. But for each page, you only want one thing in the array, right?
Right.
So in the pre-request, you're going to pm.collectionVariables.get the name, the name of your thingy. And then probably set that to a local variable called like responses. So, yep.
All right.
And then now you can get the first item in responses.
I'll call this first response.
Or you can pop it off. I would probably pop it off.
Response.pop.
Yep. All right. And how do I then send this to my...
You need to establish collection variables. So pm.collectionVariables.set. The first piece of information you'll need.
First response.
Give it a name.
That's going to be first response dot name. Right?
Dot name? No, dot book title.
Book title.
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting. Says to use that.
I think it was a camel case.
Let's see. Can I see it here still?
Yeah, book title.
Oh, yes, you're right. Book title. All right. Can we do this for all the other ones now?
For all the other ones, yeah.
Collection variables dot set. Genre is first response dot genre pm dot collection variables dot set name first response dot name.
And the first param in each of these should be a string.
Okay, I will change that. Collection variables dot set
Description.
First response dot description.
I think there's a typo in the way you've written description. It's missing an R.
Description. Good call.
Good
Make
call
that a
from the
string.
non-native English speaker.
We'll take that, put that here. All right.
And then I think scroll all the way to the top. I think you need to JSON parse that response. So Postman's going to send responses through as string. So before PM, capital JSON dot parse, open, and then enclose that whole thing.
Yeah.
All right. And I can then use these variables in my body.
Correct. So you'll need to access them with double curly braces. Probably the little quotes around it. Maybe, maybe not. I never know when to do that.
All right, let's just try this with book title. Is that what we called it?
No, we call it book underscore title here.
I fixed that. All right. This should work theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get rid of all of this other stuff here, just so we have a test to see if this works. Let's get rid of all of this stuff. Oh my. And let's get rid of all of that. So all we have is the book title and the database ID. Let's go ahead and try sending that. Uh-oh. Pre-request script.
Oh, so JSON parse? Okay, maybe undo the JSON parse.
All right.
Actually, I think check in your collection. Select your collection on the left. And
This
then,
one?
Yep. Just click it.
Mm-hmm.
And then under variables, it's object. So that means that we didn't JSON stringify it on the retrieve side. Yeah.
So I want to go here. And before we want to do responses or JSON
stringify.
dot stringify responses.
Yep. And then
run it again.
Rerun this.
Save it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Save.
And then rerun it.
All right. Create a page.
This should JSON parse.
Responses.pop is not a function.
Yeah.
Because it's not an array.
Re-add JSON parse.
Okay, now. Ooh.
Oh, let's check it. And yes, our first book has shown up here. And from here, we can add more properties and we can pull the other properties by adding more properties to this body page right here.
We're only doing it once.
We are at time.
Yeah, we're not running the whole array. But yeah.
We are not running the whole array, but Nico, do you know how to do you know what method you would use to loop through for the rest of the page creations?
For all to make this request many times? No, I'm not sure.
Oh my gosh, I thought you were a Postman expert.
I didn't get my badge. I need to go do the badge stuff.
Oh, you would totally know it if you got your badge. I'm gonna take Aman's screen off really quickly, just so you can see our faces incredibly large. But holy cow, Aman, that was some quick troubleshooting. I'll give you the short answer of how you would be able to loop through that. So you
Mm-hmm.
saw how you created a collection variable to pass along information to the second API call. But what you can do is you can run them. You don't have to hit the button. You can run it programmatically using the runner. So what it would do is kick
Okay.
off a flow where you call Typeform, then you call Notion, and if there's still stuff, we popped off one of the responses,
Mm-hmm.
but if responses is not still has length, then you would keep calling that same one, creating new pages
Okay.
using
Got it.
Postman set next request. It's almost like, is it
Ah,
recursion? I don't really know my programming
that's true. That's
concepts.
true.
Okay. All right, that was intense. Neil Stud and John's work alias caught a couple bugs in there. That was so intense.
Yes. I
am,
appreciate all the live debugging help from the audience.
and Aman, I think it would be really great if we polished up that collection a little bit and maybe shared it
Yes.
publicly. And therefore, like if people are coming upon this stream, like in a few months or something, they can build
Mm-hmm.
their own book recommendation engine, maybe send it out at work and just kind of collect some of
Mm-hmm.
those ideas, and then also just have a Notion page where you can then write
Yes.
book reports. Book reports, everyone.
Yeah,
sure.
something you haven't seen is the relationship database in Notion. So then everybody can write their own book
Mm-hmm.
report and be like, for this book, this is Joyce feeling about it. This is Nico's. This is Aman's. That makes
So you have a foreign key. You have a unique identifier of the book
Yes.
title or the book ID, but then I can look at Nico's book review. Oh, that's really cool.
Right. Notion databases are very, very intense. They can be very complicated, but very powerful.
But it's still so friendly. Like both of your products are
Mm-hmm.
so friendly to just lay users. I don't know what the name is, but like developers, yes, but lay users. And so it kind of makes me feel like anyone can just build exactly what we did on the stream.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad for sure.
Okay. Bravo. This was a team effort. I thank you so much for coming on, both of you. I think both of you guys have very popular APIs. Nico, I know you're not catering to the developer community, but like it's a very common way to gather data. And then
Mm-hmm.
Notion, it sounds like this is going to be my new favorite database tool. So let's share some of this. Any last words before we log off?
Yeah, I mean, fork our Postman repo and also sign up for our developer newsletter, which is linked on the homepage of developers.notion.com to get updates as we release new APIs, which we're releasing at a pretty rapid pace right now.
And on my side, I'll say use the Notion and Typeform integration. If you don't want to hack it yourself, there's an integration that's there. I built it, so if there's something not working, please report to me. I'll be happy to fix all those bugs. And if you do something with Typeform, share it on our community, community.typeform.com.
And Nico, you had a live stream, so you can check out the recording of that, of how you use the Notion Typeform integration that you built. So check that out. And next week, if you're swinging by next week, I believe it's going to be Mina, another developer advocate, is going to be interviewing our engineering and design team because Postman has WebSocket support now. And how they built it, she'll be asking deep, hard-hitting engineering questions.
Awesome.
Okay,
Sounds
and with
exciting.
that, I got to bounce. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye.